Hello friends, my name is Masood. Today we shall discuss our topic, the develop project management plan. Friend, today's topic is very interesting, especially if you have interest in project management and PMP, you want to learn about it. So let's start. First of all, I would request to please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell option as well so that my videos can reach to you, and also you can follow me on the Facebook page as well. Friend, develop project management plan is basically a second process in the project integration management. So project is basically a temporary endeavor which has a beginning and ending point, and it produces some unique result. So, and integration means that every project has different aspects, different considerations like scope, time, cost, risk, issues, etc. So managing all those things is basically called as the integration concept. So developing a project management plan in project management, it serves a comprehensive documents that outlines how a project will be executed, monitored and controlled. So basically, a project management plan is typically created during the planning phase of the project lifecycle and is a guide for the project team and stakeholders throughout the project execution. So whenever a project is signed off and you are going to start a project, so first thing is that you have to do the planning. Planning means that how will you manage the project, how will you execute the project, how will you achieve the target objectives which the customer wants to achieve through the project completion. So let's deep dive into it. The first thing is the overview of the project. That means in the project management plan, we briefly describe the purpose, objective and the scope of the project. Normally we sit as a project manager, you have to sit with the stakeholders, especially with the customer, and try to understand what objective they want to achieve, and based on that we start the scoping. Then we have to define the project deliverables. That means the tangible results or products that will be produced by the project. For example, a customer wants to build a Android mobile application through which they can do the for example they can do the fund transfer or marketing of the product. So the here the deliverable is the Android mobile application. Okay. Then project objectives and goals. As a project manager, you have to sit with the customer and try to understand the objectives and the goal of the project. And the customer is the best person who knows about it, that what are the objectives and goals he wants to achieve. So clearly state the specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and time bound smart objectives and goals of the project. After that, friend, the next thing is the scope management. We have to define the scope statement. A scope statement basically is a document, you can think of this, in which we define the boundaries which are included and what are not included. So the things which are included, it's called a scope, and you also define that what are the things which will not be part of the project. Then scope change control process is also defined, that describe the process for handling changes to the project scope. For example, the 5 modules are defined that we will deliver it to the customer. So in case after 1 month the customer wants changes in the scope, so how will you manage that changes in the scope? So this process should be clearly defined in the scope management plan as well. Next is the time management. Time management means first thing is the project schedule you have to define, which means the task, milestones, dependencies and deadlines. All those things should be clearly mentioned in the project schedule. Normally we use the Microsoft project or these sorts of softwares for the project schedule. Next is the resource calendar. That means specify when and how project resources will be allocated. For example, 2 resources will be allocated in the January, 3 resources in February, then 4 resources in March, etc. So this is called as the concept of resource calendar. Then a schedule baseline. A schedule baseline means the approved project schedule used as a reference point to measure the project progress. Friend, baseline is basically, whenever we talk about baseline, basically we are talking about measurement. Baseline concept is that for example, you have agreed, you have, as per the approved project schedule, project must have to be completed in 5 months, for example. Now you have to analyze the progress of the project and identify whether the project shall be completed in the 5 months or either it will complete in 6 months. So this is called as the concept of schedule baseline. Then cost management, project budget, total budget, the estimated cost for all the project activities and resources should be clearly defined in the cost management section. Then cost baseline, so the approved budget used as a reference point to measure the project cost as a performance. Again, here is the concept of a baseline. Baseline means that once the budget is approved, so that means you have to identify, for example, you have a budget of, for example, you have a budget of $2000, for example. So you will measure that at that time how much budget has been consumed, how much is remaining. Either we are going as per the track, or either we need some some modifications, etc. Then the quality standards means that define the quality expectations standard for project deliverables that must be met once the project is completed. This is very important. For, let's suppose you are making a website, for example. So there is a standard that the website should be open in Internet Explorer, in Opera, in Chrome, etc. So this is a simple example of quality standards. Then quality assurance and control, outline the process and activities to ensure that project deliverables meet quality requirements properly. This is very important. Then human resource management, in this section you have to define the roles and responsibilities of each project team member clearly. Like, for example, project manager, this is the role. Function manager, he has that role. The software developer has that role. Then staffing management plan, that describes how the project team will be acquired, developed and managed. Then communication management, communication plan basically identify the stakeholders, their communication needs and the methods and frequency of communication. Then a stakeholder engagement, which outlines the strategies for engaging and managing stakeholders throughout the project as well. Next is the risk management. Risk management plan, first thing we have to identify the potential risk that may impact the project. Then we have to identify, assess that risk. That means what is the probability and impact. Probability means that how many chances are there of that risk, and impact means that, for example, it has a major risk, major impact, it has a minor impact. For this is the risk assessment. Then risk response planning means that once the risk has been identified, assessment has been done, so you do have to do the response, that how will you handle that risk if that risk occur. Then procurement management plan, that means procurement strategy has to be described, how goods and services will be procured for the project. Then vendor management, that outline how vendors will be selected, contracted and managed. Next is the integration management, that means integration processes describe how all project elements will be coordinated and unified. Then change management means that it outlines the procedure for handling changes to project scope, schedule or other components. For example, customer now wants one more module. Initially he was saying only 5 modules, so how will you manage it, what is the criteria and what is the process of that. Then monitoring and controlling means that specify the metrics and key performance indicator to use to measure the project performance, and that describe how project performance will be monitored and controlled. Closure is basically we must have to clearly define the criteria for the project closure, and also define the process for a closure. That means outline the steps for closing out the project, including documentation and handing over the procedure. So in the last friend, project management plan is a dynamic document that may be updated as the project progresses and changes occur. Regular reviews and updates ensure that the plan remains relevant and effective throughout the project life cycle. Additionally, the project management plan should be communicated to all stakeholders to ensure a shared understanding of how the project will be executed and managed. So friend, thank you. Thanks a lot for watching the video. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please share it with your friends and colleagues, and thanks a lot for watching.